The book of Romans has a lot of really good quotes in it, a lot of good ideas. It's many people's favorite book in the Bible. One of my favorite from that book is actually Romans 12:1 and 2, but especially Romans 12:2. Romans 12:1 says, "Therefore, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, offer your lives as a spiritual sacrifice to God, for this is your spiritual act of worship." And then a lot of people really appreciate that, but I like the second verse, too. The second verse says, "Do not be conformed any longer to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." And there's something to me about the difference in the ideas of being conformed versus being transformed. When I think of being transformed, think of being made into something new. I think of a butterfly coming out of its chrysalis. I think of, the transformation that takes place as we age and mature, whether physically through puberty or even through introduction to ideas that are different than we're used to, or people that don't live or think or act or believe in the way that we do. Those sorts of transformations that come that help us to change kind of from the inside out. And one of the interesting things that I found in that passage is that the Greek word for conform actually means to be stamped or pressed. And so I think of more like a Play-Doh fun factory. You take that stamp and you push it down into the Play-Doh and you pull it off, and you got to peel out the extra stuff there, and then all you're left with is the thing that looks exactly, or is the mirror image of the stamp that you use, right? That's what that means. It means to be stamped or conformed in that way, so that the only thing that you can really do is take on the shape of the thing that you are conforming to. Do not be conformed any longer to the patterns of this world. And I think of how often I am conformed to the patterns of this world, in the way that I think about violence, and the way that I live with my money, and the way that I think about the superiority of certain ideas or people, and how often that impacts me and kind of presses down on me and leaves its imprint on me, oftentimes forcing me to peel off other parts of myself that I think are important, or that I'd like to see develop. And the difference between that and transformation, well, in transformation, I may take on new shapes. There may be yet parts of me that are kind of peeled off, or sharp edges that are rounded, softened. But transformation is less about shaping me into the image of everyone and everything around me, and is a lot more about helping me take on the shape that I need to take on. It's about helping me become the kind of person that I want to become. It drives me crazy when I hear people say, "You're perfect just the way you are." No, I'm not. None of us are. None of us are perfect the way we are. We all have flaws. We all need to change and grow and be transformed. And to suggest otherwise is just to stay mired in our same challenges and our same problems. We don't want that. We want to be transformed. We want to be changed and made new. And transformation, maybe the way to think about this best is that to be conformed is to be pressed from the outside. To be transformed is to be changed from the inside. And that is what we are trying to do as Christians. So often religion tries to conform people, to shape them from the outside in, rather than transforming them, shaping them from the inside out, letting God and the Spirit of God work in our hearts and our lives and help to change us in gentle and oftentimes subtle ways, maybe ways that only we will ever really notice. But there is a difference. There is a difference, and I think that difference matters. And so, friends, I want to encourage you and myself, do not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.